I had to look up Luis Rojas. I'm being very honest with you. I'm not very well aware of who quality control coaches are, despite their potential famous family lineage. But I give you the floor on what you think of the Mets hire.
Well, first of all, he's Felipe Alou's son. So the great manager is one of his sons. That's his mother's name. So when Felipe came to America, they grabbed the Alou name. It's actually Felipe Rojas Alou.
Mm-hmm.
And so the young guy stayed with Rojas. But he's worked his way through the minor leagues with the Mets. He knows basically the whole roster. He's managed them, coached them. I've heard nothing but great things about him as far as being a field general and understanding the game of baseball. So they're excited about it. I've been hearing this for about a week. I had to figure out who he was myself, and so that's kind of the background on where he comes from.
So, I mean, there's a media aspect of this too, and I'm hoping he's ready for that also, because this is the deep end of a baseball pool. Manager of the New York Metropolitans, certainly after Carlos Beltran didn't even manage a game. Harold, I mean, is there any sense on how he might handle that?
Yeah, he's very well, very articulate, speaks English quite well. He's obviously fluent in Spanish, but he's handled the media before, and they just feel like the pedigree of growing up in that family around his dad, Felipe, and spending time there. But he's been through a lot. I think the big thing, though, they stayed within the organization, and they felt like they had opportunities to go other ways, and he just was a guy that stood out for a long time. When they went through the process not too long ago to hire Beltran in the first place, he was one of the guys that they had considered. And they were going to try to bring him along a little bit slower in the organization, but obviously once Beltran was not able to handle the reins anymore, they felt like it was just best to go ahead and keep the continuity going, and they felt like this kid was ready.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's many.
It's a big step, man. It's a huge step, and especially with the firestorm that he's coming in, and having to deal with New York is a lot different than, say, Seattle. No offense, but I played there long enough.
Of course,
there's a lot more media and a lot more scrutiny in New York, and he's got to answer some tough questions early on, and we'll see how he gets through that phase.
Well, at least he is totally removed from anything that had anything to do with the Astros in 2017 or anything. With any of this. I mean, he just came into the major leagues as the quality control coach just last season. So he's in-house. He's one of their own. And look, I mean, you could look around so many sports where let's go for the guy who is the young guy who's got a lot on the ball, who's sharp, who can communicate with anybody in our locker room or clubhouse when it comes to baseball. And before somebody snaps him up when he's supposedly quote-unquote ready, let's get him right now. I mean, that might be the scenario that the Mets are thinking of here, HR.
Yeah, the one thing that gives you a little bit of a pause is the Mets are built to win right now. This isn't, let's ride along with our new manager and we'll figure it out in 2 or 3 years. DeGrom's ready. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Syndergaard. This team is built to jump into, and what looks like right now for me, the best division in baseball is the National League East. I mean, it is a beast. So he's got to be ready, and he's got a club that's going to be demanding wins. This is not going to be a rebuild in New York, so it's a different scenario.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.